Hey everyone, just before the video starts, I just want to point out that this isn't my best intro. I had other intro, I had takes of other intros, but the footage got deleted off my phone when I was transferring files somehow. Don't ask me how it happened, I have no idea. Yeah, so if you see that I'm having a stroke trying to get the words out, this was not my best take. Anyway, enjoy the video. Hey everyone, Bill here again with another bus video. Today I'm going to be going over the couple things that have happened over the past few months, and I'm going to be going over the main topic of this video, which is related to the key. I don't know what the name of the title will be, but you should have inferred by now, whatever the title is, that the main focus of this project is the key. So let's get into it. First thing that I want to cover is the hatch. Now in the last video, we covered the hatch entirely from install to how it looked to all the problems I had with it. And I just want to say in the past couple months since I've made that video, which I believe released in November, I've lost track of time at this point, but since I made that video back in November, it has been wonderful. It has not leaked at all, and I'm going to get into that because originally when I posted it, if you watched my last video, you'll notice that I was complaining about gaps in the sides of it and how it wasn't closing perfectly flush with the bus because the frame bent around the roof. So the frame was no longer flat, but the roof hatch was. So basically what I had to do was go to Home Depot and I bought some expanding foam strips that they sell. You can buy like a roll of like 100 feet of it or something. I don't know how much it was. But you can buy a roll of expanding foam that basically you put on top of the frame, and over time it'll slowly expand till it reaches the maximum limit, and then it gives you a good seal. So that's all I did. Since I've done that, the roof has not leaked at all. It has been perfect. There's been no issues with it, and I am insanely happy with it. It is the few people that I've brought on board since that point have really liked it, and I'm really excited to eventually have that be a centerpiece. Another thing that I did to it, to cover up the ugly frame that you could still see, because the bezel of it didn't go down all the way to the inside, so you could still see the structure frame of the bus that was still yellow. It didn't look good, cables were exposed. So what I did, and again, I'll try to show footage of this, is I took the original frame that was around the emergency hatch, and I trimmed it in half, and I just screwed it back in place, and it worked perfectly. I had to make cutouts for the little hinges on the arms, so that way it would open properly and not get stuck. But other than that, works perfectly. It looks much better. It's very seamless. The only thing it tells you that it's not the original hatch is if you're looking at it from the driver's seat, which I'm at right now, you can see light coming through. Next thing that got changed, the batteries, or the other battery. I believe I mentioned that I had to originally replace one of the batteries, and the other battery finally died. We had a really bad snowstorm a couple weeks ago, completely froze the bus, and that's going to lead into another point in a second, but completely froze the bus over, killed the battery, and I had to replace it. So now I have two brand new batteries. The voltage is great. Unfortunately, I left this sitting a few days, and the backup camera monitor was on by accident, so I'm hoping it still starts. If not, I'll just have to jump it, but now I'm confident that it will start. Because when that battery died, the bus also died. Like, it wouldn't start. After I replaced the battery, still wouldn't turn on. It was cranking, but it wasn't starting. So I had someone come out in a panic, because I've never dealt with that before. I had someone come out, and I had them look at it, and they basically said, your fuel's all gelled up, you just need some starter fluid. Turns out that's what it was. Just put some starter fluid in the intake, turned it on, engine went crazy for a second, and then finally evened out. And it's been working good since. Anyway, so after that whole fiasco, that cost me $200 for the consulting, which is fair. I just didn't know what to do. I read online while I was waiting for him that probably should just bought starter fluid and tried that before I paid $200 to have a guy come out. But you live and learn. Next thing that happened, I had a maintenance appointment scheduled with Wolfington Body Company, which is where this bus originated from. I had an appointment with them 3 times. I missed the first one because I had COVID in the beginning of January. January 2nd was the appointment. Missed it because I had COVID. I also missed Christmas and New Year's, which sucked. But anyway, besides the point, yes, so I had to cancel that appointment and reschedule to the 22nd. But when I rescheduled to the 22nd, that was immediately after our really bad snowstorm that we had, which froze the bus over, which I needed to have someone come out, give the starter fluid. And that all happened on the day I was supposed to go to the appointment. So this happened at 9 a.m. and the appointment was at 10. Couldn't make it because all the issues bus wouldn't turn on. So by the time someone came out to look at it, it was the next day. So I had to cancel that appointment and reschedule again. So last week I had an appointment finally, and I made it to the appointment. And I had them, sign it in. I was talking to the guy at the desk, and basically the conversation devolved into me saying, hey, I'm not that rich. This is just a little project that I picked up on my own. And the clerk said, oh, but you own a bus. You can't be that broke. And I said, yeah, but I only paid $1,000 for it. And immediately he, started looking a bit confused. I leave the place. The bus is dropped off. I get home. A couple hours later, I get a call from the bus place, but not specifically Wolfington. I get a call from the clerk that I talked to from his personal phone. And he warns me. He says, hey, just to let you know, there's something that we didn't tell you initially. He remembered that I had mentioned that, I'm not the richest person in the world. And he just wanted to warn me that the consult fee, just for them to look over everything that I mentioned, which was brakes, oil, anything else that they might find, remove the speed limiter, stuff like that, just to look it over and diagnose everything would have been $200 something an hour. And he said it would have taken about 2 hours to get that all done. So I was looking, before I got any work done, I was looking to pay $400 something. Hey, sorry, Bill here again. I just want to clarify that I'm absolutely not taking a dig at Wolfington. They mostly deal with fleets and big buses like tour buses, school buses, official school buses. And their prices are absolutely fair for what I was asking, and they'll probably be much more suitable for someone who actually can fit something like that in their budget, but that just didn't work for me. But nothing against Wolfington. Just want to make that clear. I just said, no, thanks for letting me know. I'm going to come pick it back up, and I'll do all the work myself. So that's what I did. I picked it up, and now it's here. It still drives. The brakes are still fine. I just want to have them looked at to see how much I had left. Obviously, I'm going to have to start looking into alternatives and probably going to have to do it myself, but I have to find a space to do that. Now to the main topic of this video, which is the key. When we had that cold day and the bus wouldn't start, and I was trying to make my appointment, I was doing everything to get it started. Went to AutoZone, get the batteries charged up, got the battery replaced and charged up the other one. That didn't help it. And when I was trying to turn the key to get it to start, the key fob snapped. Now, normally when your key snaps, it's like, no big deal. Well, it sucks, but you can get a pair of pliers, pull it out, easy peasy. Not in this case. In this case, the key broke into several different pieces inside the whatever you call it, the ignition thing. I don't know. It broke off in there into like a million different pieces, and all I got out was a little sliver of metal. Everything else was lodged in there, and the more I played with it with a pair of needle nose, it just got worse. That being said, today's project is replacing that with this ignition switch I found off Amazon that matched the part number that is actually in here. I'm hoping it's going to go pretty smoothly. I'm going to try something different, and I don't know how well this is going to work. I'm going to keep the camera rolling. I'm probably going to put it a bit lower so you can see it better. It's right there. And I'm going to have to unscrew everything, and I'm going to try to record it. If the footage isn't that good, we're just going to skip forward, and I'll apologize, or you'll just see me keep talking because I'm probably going to forget to say sorry, the footage sucked. So let's just say for now, you'll see the footage, and if not, you'll see me in a second. But I'm going to go try to swap that out, and we'll see what happens. Before I go, I should say I am able to start it still. With these wire cutters, you stick it in where the key goes, and you turn it because the metal in the ignition switch is stuck in a perfect way where no matter what you do to turn the key, it will turn. So all the pins are pushed down correctly, somehow. Which is good for me. But yeah, we're going to try to go install this and see how it goes. Now I'll be back to you guys in a moment. The project's done. It took me 15 minutes. I expected this to take a lot longer because I did not know what I was doing. But the good news is it's fixed. And I'll pan the camera down. I don't know how much you can see because I don't have it pointed at me. But there it is, right down there. I'll try to show a close-up later. Brand new key is installed, ready to go. I turned it. You might be able to hear a faint hissing because that's the brake system just powering down after I let it run for a little bit. Yeah, I genuinely did not have time to record. I had no time. I was expecting to get it apart and then record and then show you what it looked like apart and then do the work. But the work literally just disconnected the cable, put it back on. That it was that easy. So I'm sorry I couldn't show you that. Like I said, don't come to me if you're looking for tutorials. It's genuinely a bad idea. Genuinely and generally a bad idea. So there it is. So all I had to do, as I mentioned, is unscrew all these bolts on here, all these screws, and like I said, I'll do some close-ups so you can kind of get an idea. But there's 4 screws around the outside of the panel, and there's 3 screws around the parking brake, push in, push out kind of deal. You take out the 3 parking brake screws, because otherwise it won't move, because the parking brake thing is pretty static. Then you take out the 4 corner screws, and then the panel just comes off. You gotta kind of move things around to get some clearance, but then the panel comes out. And then I had to take a big wrench and basically twist off the cap that was holding the key, the ignition switch in place. Twisted that off, pulled it out, and luckily it looks like you can configure it differently depending on a different vehicle, but luckily in this one, they made it so the harness just fits perfectly with the back of the key switch that I had. So there was no thinking at all. All I had to do was just rip off the cables off the old one, pop them on the new one. That was it. I disconnected the battery for safety, and it was ready to go. So that was the entire project. I'm genuinely shocked. I brought all my tools out. I was all ready to get in and have a headache for how annoying it was going to be. But nope, it did not give me any headache at all. So I'm sorry I couldn't get any footage of it, but it was just that quick. So that's about it for today's video. I don't have any projects planned right now. I'm still paying off a few things, so nothing major is happening yet, as I've mentioned time and time again. So this is how the bus is going to be. Oh, you might be able to see it. I don't know if you can. You might have saw it earlier. But I have this little screen here. I got a CarPlay screen, so I don't have to keep looking at my phone when I'm driving. I haven't used it while driving. I'm about to go for a drive right now. So far, so good. I like the placement of it. It's not in the way. It's not in the way of anything. It's just blocking part of the hood right here, and that's it. The display is a bit stretched. It's also a dash cam. It hasn't been recording because I turn it off when I'm not using it. But anyway, I might figure something out with that or not. I don't know, because the backup camera system that I have also doubles as a dash cam. I haven't gotten that to work yet, but if I wanted that, I could, because I already have the back camera on there. So anyway, like I said, thanks again for watching, and I will see you all on my next overly ambitious project. Okay, so I just want to clarify. I know I said I'd add stuff on as B-roll or whatever, but in my last video, I didn't really like how the B-roll looked, so I'm just going to kind of show you now. So refer to the ending when you want to see the clips, and I'll put a marker on that. Anyway, let me show you the roof. Okay, so hopefully this is a better angle, the roof for you. Last time it was a bit darker out because it was the end of the day, but now you got a nice bright view of the hatch. You can see it opens, closes. Very nice. It's pretty warm out right now, but I might leave this open for my drive. But anyway, so this is the trim that I added to cover up all the holes in the back. You can kind of see through there to make it so this latch can move. Cut it oversized, not too worried because this is not permanent. This is just for the time being until I actually renovate the entire thing. But what I want to talk about is this expanding foam here, which was perfect for what I needed. And it just covers up all the gaps on the sides. Otherwise, it would have still let in water and stuff like that. And like I said, no leaks have been coming in since. It is genuinely amazing now. I am so happy with how this turned out. Couldn't be happier. But anyway, let's go on to the key switch. Okay, so you can see here, this is the panel that I took off. This is the new key switch. Sorry, I'm at like a weird angle next to the steering wheel. This is the key switch I replaced. You can see nice and bright and shiny. And all you have to do to get this out is you take off this screw here, this screw here, this screw here, and this screw here. And then these 3 screws, which are holding the parking brake mechanism in place. And then this will slide out. There's a harness on the back of this. You just pop out. And the ground wire, make sure you remember where the ground wire goes. You pop that off, pop it on the new one, you're good to go. All you have to do is just use a little like wrench to pull this, twist this cap off, because mine was pretty tight. And I just tightened it down to all hell on here. So you're gonna probably need some effort to get it off, but I got a wrench and it came off in like 5 seconds. So again, very simple project. I was not expecting it to be that easy, but there you go.